Suddenly it feels like I am chasing. Never thought a girl make me so crazy. Nah, you cast a spell down on me. You cast a spell, but everything feels like I am falling, and I can't take it, girl, I'm breaking down. You cast a spell down on me. I never wanted to fall, baby. I knew that I had it all, baby. But then you went and you take me. Now the game has been changed. I never wanted to fall, no. I knew that I had it all, no. But then you came and you take me. Now the game has been changed. I never wanted to.
Welcome to another Road to Hollywood. We've got an extremely exciting show. It's a great week. Thank you so much for joining in. That is a preview of one of our special in-studio guests. We're going to unveil an amazing artist of the future right there. But first of all, I want to introduce our special guest. We've had him on before. He's a regular to the program, one of the friends of the team here. He is a veteran of the music industry. He's been signed to deals. He's got all sorts of stories. He is a manager with disc makers, the #1 CD and DVD manufacturer. And more importantly, tonight, he is a artist manager, and we're going to be talking about artist development. Please welcome to the Road to Hollywood, Sydney-Alston.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming down. It's always great to see you. Talk a little bit about what it takes these days, because back in the day when you came up and you had a record deal, there was somebody in that record company that helped kind of develop and shape and kind of steer you in the right direction and, you know, work with you, whether it be your imagery or your music videos, your photos and all that. And now those companies that are out there, especially obviously if you're doing an independent, there's no one really to fall back on but yourself. It's all about putting your team together and really maximizing the look, the sound, the songs, the direction, the moves it takes to get the artist out there. So Sid, tell us a little bit about how you approach, you know, artist development these days, and what are some of the most important elements for you, you know, in the overall package?
Well, it takes an army of people, it seems like, to bring it to the forefront. I guess it all starts off with the songs, because if you don't have the songs, nothing else seems to matter as much. So you get in the studio, you record with as many people as you can to figure out who is going to give you the sound that you're looking for, the sound that you need. You know, record songs yourself. You keep writing and writing. A lot of times in the beginning with an artist, if they don't come to the table with a bunch of songs, then it's you selling yourself and the artist. So people have to believe in both parties. You know, the management as well, or whoever on the team is bringing them to the producer to take a chance on an unknown. And then once that artist gets a chance to sing and they get to hear what they really can do, then it's up to the artist to take it to the next level.
Well, obviously, songs are the things that we remember the most. You know, when we think of our favorite artists out there, it was that personality and those songs that really are timeless. You can go see an artist right now, and sometimes you forget, was it 10, 20, 30 years ago you fell in love with those songs? The songs are timeless. Not only do they bring us back to that age in which we first heard them, but they become the soundtrack to our life. You know, the songs are it as far as establishing an artist. They can be a great singer, they can have an incredible story, but if we can't remember some of their songs, what exactly do we have? So I think, no doubt, the foundation of any great artist is their catalog. And to really launch that catalog, to get on first base, you've got to have that one reactionary song, a song that people are going to talk about and, you know, hum, and, you know, hopefully it gets stuck in their mind where it's like, I got to own that song. I got to go to iTunes or the store or wherever to get behind that artist. But from the song, because we always hear about the one-hit wonder, you know, let's talk about those elements it takes to really, you know, shape the personality that we fall in love with our favorite artists. Because, you know, we can always think of sometimes songs that we love, but then we can't think of the artist. It's like, that song was great, but who the hell was that? So obviously, you know, imagery, you know, the image, whether it's the way they carry themselves, they dress, how they photograph, the video, and of course, then when they open their mouth, the stories they tell. Talk about that and what's your approach. Obviously that's a combination of organic and steering it in the right direction, because no matter how skilled you are, it can only get better. So talk a little bit about developing that other side of the artist besides the song.
I had a manager once who took my band and said, "You guys would be great. We're going to call you the Dream Team. You guys are going to dress up in basketball uniforms, and you're going to come out on the stage with a basketball in your hand, and you're going to start off with a big chant, 'We will rock you.'" And that was what he told us that we were going to do. I didn't like that when somebody came along and told me how to be creative, so I try my best not to do that. And really, it's about figuring out the look that connects with the songs. If you're singing songs about thugging, then you need to be thugged out. If you're singing songs about love, you need to look like a lover, or something like that. So you got to kind of tailor the look and the feel of everything, the pictures that you're going to use on your press kit, on your album cover, on your Facebook. All of that stuff needs to be lined up so that you have a look that makes sense with your music. You can't look like a rocker and then start rapping and not sound like, Tupac. It's just weird. I mean, people do that, and maybe it's a hook for some people, but it's hard for the masses to really just grasp a hold of it. You want them to be able to look at this guy and say, he's going to be cool. He's going to do something that I like. So you want to be comfortable with that. And it's a development of everything. When you're talking about what are you going to say in an interview? Well, that's practice. It's the same kind of practice that goes into learning how to play a song or writing a song. The more you write, the more interviews you do, the better you get at it. So, with my artists, sometimes I sit back and, I ask those questions. So what's your favorite song? Who's your favorite artist? And I do that repeatedly, sometimes sporadically at weird times, because that's what happens, to an artist when the paparazzi catches them or somebody gets them for an impromptu.
Yeah, it's a combination of really taking what's organically there, the vision, the personality they have, and enhancing it, because we're living in hyperspeed. When you get on that red carpet and you got 2 minutes to tell your life story and what's your project and what do you push, and not only are you on, and it's kind of exaggerated, but they probably interviewed 30 or 40 other people, and by the time their piece airs, they used 1 or 2 or 3 of them. So the whole idea is to be, that vibrant personality that they fall in love with. Mm-hmm. And just crystallizes in their mind like, wow, I like that song, the style, how he answered those questions. And I always see that, for artists out there, especially if they're on a red carpet, they get asked the same questions over and over again.
Right.
Tell me about that. What's that song about? Tell me about your new project. And obviously, you can answer that very succinctly or expand upon it and really create an impression, of what's inside the artist. Again, when we think of our, so many legendary artists over the years, whoever it may be, whether, it was someone that you fell in love with their music and they opened their mouth and didn't have much to say and you were kind of disappointed, or someone that really took it somewhere. Of course, the classic example in Motown was Motown artists just sang and danced, and now all of a sudden Marvin Gaye had something to say. He was talking about the social, political world that he was living in with what's going on and all that. And it created such a dynamic. Obviously, Bob Dylan or anyone that wrote about something in society, what they felt about, was very powerful. So I think it's really important these days, because we're in such a barrage of, new artists or sound bites or media flying at us, to really flesh that out, really let the artist stand for something. And obviously, again, what they stand for, their charitable, activities, or their beliefs, out there that hopefully don't just polarize people. I think this is what helps define that artist. Now, when you take an artist into the video world, again, you've got that 3 or 4 minutes to, again, take the viewer on a trip and kind of encapsulate not only some of the imagery of the song, but what that artist is all about. So talk a little bit about your anticipation of, developing the personality in the video space.
Oh, videos can tell stories. A video can be just a visual where the artist isn't even really in it. It just needs to portray the story of the song. If the story is a love song, it's a love story. If it's a silly song, if you're singing about the thrift shop, that's a fun song. It's going to be fun, Gangnam Style. I don't even know what that means, but the video is cool. And these guys are actually defining what they're going to look like on stage. Are they going to be dancing around and, with suits on with a whole group of people? Is it going to be a single artist that's a serious artist on stage doing something serious that people are going to pay attention to? And it could be any of those things. And to define that, or to try and figure out what your video is going to look like, you got to go and talk to the folks that are going to make it and what they're capable of. We're independents, man, so we don't have a lot of money. So you got to stay within your budget. You can't shoot from the Empire State Building if you don't have a budget for that. You know what I mean? You can't get the helicopter out if you can't afford to fly.
Sure.
So it's all about what you can afford to do and getting together with some creative people to listen to the song and see what they think about it. What vision does it portray for them? And then you put your visions together and create a video with the artist. The artist is going to be the most important thing. He's going to be the standout, in my opinion, in any good video. The artist should be standing out in the video, portraying the song.
And that's what's so important these days is, video is like the new radio in a lot of ways. So you're able, from video to video, to kind of enhance and further expand, the image or what the artist is all about. Hopefully they see him as this multi-dimensional, character who is happy and sad and thoughtful and fun and all those, in the course of the different songs or in the course of a song. I think it's really, really important.
Jay, we filmed a couple videos for my artist, and I got an interesting reaction. We did a fully produced video, with models and on the beach in Malibu, for a song, and then we recorded sort of a live video with him playing and singing in a studio setting. And I played it for some friends to see. Say this is our new video for this is what we're working on. We weren't done with it yet. We're still editing it, but it was pretty close. They really liked the video that was fully produced. But what I realized with the live video somehow allowed them to connect in a different way. Now they're connecting, hearing him sing a song to them, or on camera, and his personality comes through in a different kind of way. And they like them both. So. The one video was pretty simple to make because it was just, him performing in front of a microphone versus the big budget video where we were on the beach. But again, both of those got the job done. I think people like it better when they can see both sides of an artist.
That's so true. So important to, think of the big picture. You can't tell the entire story and the whole history of the artist in one video. But those different sides, the reality and the fantasy world, are all so important. Again, our special guest in the studio this week is Sydney Alston. He's an artist manager. He's an executive in the business. He's got a long history. He is a supporter of the independent movement. And we're going to go to a little clip right now and come back and introduce you to his new artist, the artist you heard at the top of the show. But we went backstage and had a very exclusive interview with Tech Nine, the king of the independent world, at the recent Paid Dues Festival. So after this break, more on the road to Hollywood. So first off, why is it important for the independent artists these days to really be a student of the game and really learn and be a part of this whole process?
It's important because we have to keep growing hip hop, man. You know what I'm saying? It's something that millions, billions love, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's important for independents to come and independents like us, at least, to come and show these young motherfuckers how to do it, so we can keep growing this thing we call hip hop. Don't want to let it fall, and it's non-existent. Rock and roll's gonna be here, jazz is gonna be here. We're gonna make sure hip hop is gonna stay by trying to do shit that'll inspire the young motherfucker to do something even more creative than we did. Then you got a Kendrick Lamar.
So making the music is one part of it, but really the whole process, the merch, the live show, everything, that's just as important, if not more.
The live show is like mandatory. You have to know how to do it. You have to know how to get the crowd engaged, because if they're not gonna come back to your show, and you're not gonna grow hip hop if you don't know how to. If you're not writing to perform the song, what are you writing for? You know what I'm saying? It's all about getting on tour and spreading it. That's how we politic in hip hop. We tour, we sell merchandise, we make the fan a walk-in billboard. You know what I mean? Beautiful days. Pay attention, and you can go far and long. You can be George Clinton if you want.
What does that mean to be part of the independent, the Indie Entertainment Summit, be the first artist ever to be inducted?
It means the world to me because it lets you know that people are paying attention to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not the major machine, I will be the major machine soon. You know what I mean? Me and Travis O'Gwen, this is something that's still growing, man. It's just something that's growing like a forest fire. And me being an inductee like that, it let me know that more people were paying attention, and they were clapping for me. I heard it. I don't know if you can see my face, but I was smiling the whole time. This be the one them called Tech 9. I'm giving a shout out to IES, man. It's really important for people to come be involved and to pay attention to what people like us are doing. When I say people like us, I mean the independent artists that started from the bottom. Now we're here. You know what I'm saying? And it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, man. With the help of Violet Brown, with the help of RBC. You know what I'm saying? It takes a group of people to make an epic anything. And that's what we are. A humongous group of people working on something epic, and we're sharing it. We don't keep the game to ourselves. IES, thank you.
Hats off to the incredible Tech 9, Strange Music, Chang, and Guerrilla Union for making history. Again, 28,000 people sold out, paid dues, all independent artists. Macklemore, they did it big. They're topping the charts without record deals. It is a movement. It's a revolution. It gets bigger every day. We're so excited to bring it to you. This is IES, The Road to Hollywood. Our special guest in the studio is SydneyAlston. He's a veteran executive. He is an artist manager. He is developing the career of a major new artist. You heard the artist at the top of the hour. In this segment, we're going to introduce you to the artist. He's going to perform live first for The Road to Hollywood. But Sid, tell us a little bit about your artist, who he is, what attracted you to him, and really, you know, what your goal is in the whole development of him.
Honestly, man, Major Maja, it's going to be a pretty big artist, man. I got him because I loved his voice, man. I heard him at a talent show, and he was singing a song, playing guitar, a song that he wrote, and rapping. Like the kid sings, he writes, he raps. His voice is completely and totally unique. I need to get to meet this guy. And you know, it was interesting. I met CJ, his mom, who became my partner in management. You know, she's not your typical momager. She's got it going on. She really knows how to develop, and she started the whole ball rolling. So, you know, after I met Major and we sat down, we wrote one song together, And that was when the whole conversation began. Hey, I want to manage him. I think that I think this kid's going to be something special and I can help. And that was about taking him around and introducing him to people like Jay at the IES, and introducing him to some of my other connections through disc makers and from being a producer for years, so that we could get a demo, pictures, a bio, the whole package together, so that we would actually be able to put it out on our own and build his name. And then maybe look for the deal. He's so young. He's only 16. When you hear him, you won't believe that he's only 16.
Wow, that's incredible to find talent that young and that multiple. It's exciting to be able to kind of form and introduce him to the world in a sense without a lot of baggage, not a lot of old tricks. It's a totally different industry. It's almost easier that way to be able to develop him from scratch than to take that artist that used to know the old record business and somehow is trying to adapt to this new industry that is forming, that is so independent, so entrepreneurial, that a lot of them, they've got the bad habits from what they thought the record company or who's supposed to hand them a big check or how it's supposed to go. What's really exciting about the indie world is that the artists and these teams are really out there writing their own checks. I mean, you can create a massive success story virtually yourself, and that leverage is incredible. I think we heard this week about Jay-Z, who is 1,000% independent, but he's at the point now with Rock Nation and what he does and his artists, his catalog, that he could get Universal to do whatever he wants. Okay, I want you guys to manufacture. I want you to distribute. I want you to put up this budget or market. They still own everything. They still control and write the music they want and basically direct the campaigns. But now they have a joint venture partner who's basically doing whatever they want, the hard work, the dirty work, whatever they don't do. And it makes an incredible marriage. And that's what's exciting about the indie world. You're in business for yourself, but you don't have to be in business by yourself. And it's like you say, it's about building that team, the people that do what you don't do. So together you make a whole. And in the past, I mean, we used to see these record companies that had 1,000 employees. And now we're seeing these teams of 5 or 10 people do the work of what used to be hundreds of people. And that's really, really exciting. Not only is that more cost effective, but the more people that touch something or you hand it off to them, more chances somebody's going to drop the ball or don't get it or they're not in line, with the overall focus. So now, when he came to you, how many songs did he have written?
Ooh,
or what you would consider like finished or sellable songs?
Well, he had one song that was getting a lot of traction on YouTube. I think when I met him, it probably had about 80,000 hits. So he did have something going on. But other than that song that was recorded, I think I had heard 2 other songs that he had done with some other producers. And, sometimes producers hold the songs for ransom. But I had also heard him play several songs. I mean, since we've met, we probably have recorded about 40 songs together with various producers and in different places, writing with different people, some of them big, some of them, are writing for Justin Bieber and Beyonce. I mean, so we've written with some very big writers to get some of these songs. But it really isn't even about that. I mean, I think one of our best situations is a guy that we met from out in Denmark who comes to the United States for a couple of weeks, and we record with him. And, we get some of the best results. It's a good connection going on there.
Now, how did you meet this European producer?
Networking, you know that? I went to an event for the National Association of Record Industry Professionals, and he was there. It was the first, my first introduction of Major to people as an artist that I was managing. And, I didn't even know that this guy actually had won some Danish Grammys and had sold platinum records. We had no idea. He was just a guy at this party that we met. And he invited us to a session. We went to the session for another artist or another songwriter or whatever. And we made a connection there with Frederick and invited him back to my place to record a song. And so he came over, we recorded the first song, and we've been recording ever since. And I mean, the rest is kind of history for what we've been doing. It's fun and it's good. We even do sessions through Google Circle, not Skype, but do Google Circles, you know. And you know, he's in Denmark. He can hear the song. We share files back and forth. I can show him my screen, you know. So it's amazing what we're able to do long distance. The time thing's a little weird, so we're recording at like 8:30 in the morning.
So he could be 6, 7, 8,000 miles away, and it's like you're conversing. You're in the same room, so to speak.
We're in the same room.
And that's what's amazing. Again, just because you're independent doesn't mean there's not major songwriters that are willing to let you cut their songs or co-write. They're all looking to build up their catalog. There's major producers right now that used to produce for nothing but major artists that might not be the flavor of the week, or maybe they're the protege of that major producer and they're stepping out of the shadows. They pretty much ran the board and know all the guy's tricks. And again, for a fraction of what it used to take, just like in the video world, you know, it was incredible amounts of money that they would charge these artists back for these big music videos and production. And now we're seeing just comparable music, incredible artists, you know, come to the plate with finished videos, finished albums and songs for a fraction of what it used to take. So exciting. Again, Sydney, why don't you make the introduction to your artist, and let's hear a song. We can't wait.
All right. Come on, give it up, y'all, for my man, Major Mija.
Thank you. This song is called Parachute. When your back is breaking and your heart is aching, and there's no fight left inside, and every light ahead turns from green to red, another stop sign in your life. So just open your eyes to the light, hold on tight, I won't be too far behind. Whenever you call me, say oh, whenever you fall, just hold out your arms, 'cause I'll be your parachute tonight. And if we break apart, just look to the stars, 'cause I'll be your parachute tonight. And when every little motion in your quiet ocean turns into a tidal wave, but with the undertow, you can't always sail alone. I'll be a lighthouse in the night. So just open your eyes to the light, hold on tight, I won't be too far behind. Whenever you call me, say oh, whenever you fall, just hold out your arms, 'cause I'll be your parachute tonight. And if we break apart, just look to the stars, 'cause I'll be your parachute tonight. You are the reason why I sing, and I'm gonna be your king, and you could be my queen, and I'm gonna be your Tarzan, you could be my Jane, and I'm a puppet. 'Cause girl, you got me on a string and I am floating up so very high that I am frozen. And girl, you are my Caribbean queen, Billy Ocean. I'ma catch you when you fall, 'cause girl, that is the notion. And even when you falling, you know you still glow and say oh, oh. Whenever you fall, just hold out your arms, 'cause I'll be your parachute tonight. And if we break apart, just look to the stars, 'cause I'll be your parachute. When the world spins around, I will help you back down. I'll be a parachute tonight. And when the wind hits your face and you're lost out in space. I'll be your parachute tonight.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's history right there. Major Maja on the road to Hollywood. We thank you so much for coming down. I really, really love those songs. And we're going to play again the song we opened with in the outro. And you can hear that voice and what a incredible producer, can take. And I know you premiered some of these songs at IES last year, and we're so excited to share that with the world. We're going to go to a little break right now, hear a little bit more about the IES conference coming up August 7th through the 11th. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about the importance, learning, growing, and network in the independent world. This is The Road to Hollywood.
Hey, what up? This is Corey from Slipknot.
This is Matt Sorum from Velvet Revolver.
What's up? It's your boy Mac 10.
Hey, this is Mike IES from Alice in Chains.
What's up? This is Be Real from Cypress Hill.
What's up? I'm Sean from Yellow Card.
It's your boy Warren G.
I'm Brooks Wackerman from Bad Religion.
Hey, yo, this is Method Man.
This is Mick Jones from Foreigner.
I got a question for you. Are you serious about moving your creative career forward? Then you need to be at IES.
If you're a musician out there, you got a band, you want to rock, don't sit down on your ass and wait for someone to knock on your door.
You can do it yourself. Don't wait for nobody. Do your thing, man. Life is short. You only live once.
Totally independent, and I love it.
Everything's important about the indie world. It has been for a long time.
You got more control, and you make 10 times as much money. 10 times more money.
Don't wait for the record label. Do it yourself.
People need to hear the music that's in your head, that's in your fingers, that's in your heart. So get out there and let's hear it.
Because of the internet and because of the greed of those old school executives at these record companies, the power is now in your hands, artists.
Take back your art and don't sell yourself cheap or short to anyone.
If you believe in your music, if you believe in your gift, if you believe what God has given you, make sure you go to IES, show the world what you got. It's going to be going down here in Los Angeles, and it's something that gets all you independent artists getting going on that drive, doing what you guys got to do, man.
Be independent. Don't be afraid to be independent.
You got to be a part of doing you first, and that means independence. I implore you to go to the IES, the Independent Entertainment Summit, and do your thing.
If you think you know what you're doing in this music business, I don't care who you are, there are things you will learn.
The indie way is the way. The large corporations have basically disintegrated. They're looking to the indie community to create the music and create the genesis of what's going to be the next environment.
If you've started a new band and you're having a little bit of trouble figuring out where to go next, or what you should be doing, who you should be talking to, whether you need a record label or how to get your music distributed, you need to go to the Indie Entertainment Summit. That's the place where you go to meet industry panel experts. They're going to tell you everything you need to know to get you where you want to be.
For me, I spend all of my days and months going around the world educating musicians on how they can better actually release their music and market their music. Part of my mission, it's part of the way that we can grow the music business. So I'm going to go at all the important summits that I can go to, and the Indie Entertainment Summit is going to be one of the places that I'll be. You want to be educated? You want me to help educate it? You better be there.
If you rap, sing, dance, model, DJ, or act, or like myself do comedy, you can't afford to miss this conference.
You're trying to do your thing in this business, and you're tired of waiting on somebody to help you. And August coming to LA, the Indie Entertainment Summit.
You know what time it is, man. It's that time, Rolex time. Chasing cash, get money, get care. Shout out to Hit Boy, G-Rock, Money Making Man, Stacy B, and Circa. And we here with the Indie Entertainment Summit, man. Y'all need to be here, man. It's in LA in August, man. Beautiful people here, man, dropping knowledge, dropping gems about this new way to pursue this music and a new way to get this money, man.
It's the Indie Entertainment Summit. That's the IES, baby.
Very important place to be if you want information to take things to the next level. You may not have access to the internet. It's okay too. Go there. You have an opportunity, IES.
Write it, rap it, produce it, mix it, arrange it, rap it, sell it. That gives you the power.
Every second that you're sitting on your butt waiting for something good to happen, your competition is passing you by. So if you got a dream, go and fight for it and support Indie Entertainment Summer.
I need y'all to come out to my city and represent with the Entertainment Indie Summit. It's going down August 1st through the 5th. If you're an independent artist, you're an independent label, you want to get your music out there, you want to network, come out to Los Angeles.
All you gotta do is, if you want to blow up in this industry, go to IES conference in LA, Google it, you gotta be there.
Showcases, panels, opportunities, everything that Indie Entertainment Summit does is something that is very much for today's music industry. We know how it used to be, but we don't know how it's going to be tomorrow. But I think the Indie Entertainment Summit is going to be an opportunity for motivated, ambitious professionals to meet each other.
Music business is a hard thing to break into. So you gotta do what you can. Check out IES, Indie Entertainment Summit.
If you're gonna be anywhere, you need to be at IES, man, in LA, man. That's where it's gonna be at.
It's going down just like that, August 1st through the 5th. IES, man.
If you ain't going to IES, you ain't gonna live to be an artist. You know why? IES, feed your mind, feed your soul. Get a good lawyer. They'll teach you which way to go.
If you're serious about your music, where do they need to be?
You gotta be at IES, yo.
What's that?
Indie Entertainment Summit.
You should check it out at IES.com. Hopefully this will become an annual event that we'll all be going to many years from now.
You need to be out to IES. That's IES, baby.
Going down August 1st through the 5th.
You have to check out IES. IES, show the world what you got.
Ain't no excuses. It's now or never.
It's your chance to show the world what you've got.
IES. I hope I see you there.
Indie Entertainment Summit, man. Circa, we gonna be there.
Indie motherfucking Entertainment Summit. Be there, Jack.
IES. Look for it online. The Indie Entertainment Summit.
If you really think you got what it takes to stand out, you really want to make sure you stand out, you can show the world what you got at the IES, the Indie Entertainment Summit.
IES, it's going to be here in Los Angeles.
Entertainment capital of the world. If you ain't there, you're nowhere.
Thank you so much to everybody that was there last year. We made history. We definitely want everybody to check out the website, iesfest.com. That's F-E-S-T, short for festival. iesfest.com. We'll give you all the information. Get registered now. The sooner you register, the better your slot will be, the higher your priority number will be. There's going to be some events this year that are going to be so incredible that it's first come, first serve, and your priority, badge will get you in early. So you cannot miss what's going down. Our guest this week, SydneyAlston. He was a speaker at IES. He is a longtime veteran in the music industry. He is the manager of the incredible Major Mija, who we heard premiered incredible songs live on the road to Hollywood. Thanks again for you guys coming down. That was incredible hearing that music. And we heard you were handicapped even doing it. So amazing. He caught his bracelet in his guitar string, and that was only a fraction of what you can expect live from this incredible artist. We fell in love with him. When we heard Sydney talking about him, and we understand the vision that it takes to really bring a new artist to the market, have that undying enthusiasm to get up every day and continue to grow. It's kind of like building the Great Wall of China. It's brick by brick, and then you look back and it's like, wow, we made it a quarter mile and we've got a few more miles to go. So
it's hard work.
Yeah. Now talk about the development of these songs. I know you've taken them in the studio. How does that process work? Again, you're cutting some here and he's cutting there, and it all comes together. You talked about the Google circles and all that.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. I mean we've gone to studios and started from scratch writing a song. Sometimes Major brings a song to the table and says, let's do this. Sometimes it's about, someone else bringing an idea and Major hearing that idea and go, ooh, that would be cool if we did it like this. And maybe we'll add this in there, So it's really about building the songs from scratch. And also, I think, since Major, when we first started out, I know Major started writing songs that were, in my opinion, like twisted love songs, Probably because, he was 14 when I met him. This has been some time, to work on the little things like the pitch, the timing, You know, making sure that you're playing with the click, making sure that you're singing with the drums. I mean, like everything has been worked on musically for the recording. I mean, now that Major goes in the studio, he's like working with an old pro. He knows how to sing from the mic. He knows when to back up. He knows, you know, when to sing it soft and make it pretty and airy, and when to actually belt it out so you can feel it. You know, and I mean, that's all something that's learned over time with working with all these different people. And it starts to come across in the records. And that's what really, you know, once people can hear that and they can feel it, then they want to know more about who this artist is because their voice draws them in. Then the video shows up and pictures, you know, and you see them on stage at a show. It's all connected. You know, this is the independent world where you're only limited by yourself, what you want to do or what you perceive yourself as.
There's no rules.
You know, Major says, I want to sell 1 billion records. How do we do that? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, that means we got to start now. We got to start getting it going now.
Yep. Well, Major, you seem like you're an old soul in that young body, and that's really what the industry craves. It's someone that's got the youth, but you're so confident, you know. When we had you at IES, you get up in front, whether it's industry people or people from around the world that you don't know. And, you know, here on the camera, we're amazed at the confidence you have. Tell us a little bit about who some of your influences and inspirations were and how you first started, you know, playing music, at what age and how that developed.
Well, it's a long story how I started, really. I mean, I've been doing this since I came out the womb, man. When I was 4 years old, I got my stage name from my uncle, and that's a funny story for another day. But I really started honing in on my craft at 9. And me at 16 right now, looking back on when I was 9, I wouldn't even say I was honing anything, because it's just like, wow, I'm so much different and so much better now. And it's really funny looking back on how much you grow. As far as influences, I listen to a lot of Beatles. I listen to like a lot of old and new and really everything, so I have a good gauge of where I am as an artist. I mean, I listen anywhere from Chris Brown to Justin Bieber, you know, Bob Marley, Michael Jackson, obviously, like just the greats. You know, I want to be the first artist to sell 1 billion records. So to do that and to touch every crack and crevice of the world, you have to expand your knowledge and just really go for it.
Yeah, well, it's so, you know, enriching to hear, you know, a young artist that knows that it takes that pure creativity, but it also takes work. And if you're learning every day and you love what you're doing, you know, it's that process of really coming together, you know. Sid, it was so great to have you, you know, at IES and bring him. Why is it so important to, you know, as you develop the artist, really enrich him with experiences like that, where he can learn from others and certainly, you know, meet people from all ends of the business?
You know, it's all about exposure anyway. You know, opportunities come when you're prepared. And so prior to really being prepared, you know, we didn't do quite as many meetings and shows, but as, you know, by the time we got to IES, I thought that Major was ready to explode. You know, he was ready to actually let it go. And for people to see it, and the people that I have been talking to about Major for a long time, like Jay, to hear him perform and, you know, be able to talk to, you know, Steve LaBelle and Violet Brown and all those people, to expose them to what could be the future as well. You know, so it was that's why you do that, for those opportunities. So when I call Violet or whoever and say, Major's got a new record out, we're ready to do something, you know, here it is, tell me what you think, you get a better reaction. I've met you in person. I met you at the IES. You know, Jay is a real good friend. My artist got up and performed and played guitar and sang. Oh, he was the guy that rapped? Yeah, that was him. So, you know, all of those things actually help along the way for everything that you're doing. Everybody that you meet along the way may have a role later on down the line. You just never know. Yeah. And, you know, CJ always says, worst case scenario, one fan at a time.
Yep.
Yeah.
One fan at a time. We can sell one person at a time, we're winning.
Well, you know, when I was there in the early days of U2, they had that same attitude. They told their legendary booking agent, Frank Barcelona, just put us on with anybody. Because their attitude was, we don't care if there's 16,000 people here to see Jay Giles at 38 Special or whatever. If just a few of the fans, if we got 5 or 10% of this audience, that's enough. We'd rather play in front of that big crowd and win them over than to play in the little club based on our own draw.
Right.
And, you know, we saw them build such a massive audience that way. And, you know, it's so exciting, like I say, to hear the attitude, you know, in the youthful body, because we always feel that so many of the young artists, they think they know it all when really they're in the prime era to be learning. You know, it's such a fast-changing business, as we know. We see those emails come through every day, and there's new technology and this new opportunity and this guy moved over here, and you know, it's liquid. The business will never be firm like we had it, you know, years ago. So it's important for the artist to really want it and have fun with it, because it's not really hard work if you're doing what you love to do.
Yeah. Right.
But you've got to commit yourself. You got to surround yourself with a team of people that want it as bad as you do, and more importantly, you work in tandem together and you pace each other. You know, if you're going to raise the bar and it's going to cause him to write another great song, and in your team, you know, you're constantly one-upping each other to, you know, raise that bar. And that's what's so incredible. You know, there's so much that's done on the internet these days that we've missed the opportunity to really press the flesh. And there's conferences for songwriters and conferences for, you know, filmmakers and this and that. But what we really try to do with IES is really bring it all together and teach the artists and their managers and labels really how to generate more business, more sales, do this on their own rather than sit out there and wait for some record deal, which, as we've seen time and time again, is some corporation that's going to just write a check and then own you, control you, can put you on the shelf and everything. So it's so important to see talent like this develop and never run into that. Now, I know it's a little scary going out there saying, oh, we want a record deal to write these big checks and this and that, but I know that, you know, in building all that you can independently, you're just building further leverage and building more and more opportunities where these big companies, like we talked about with Jay-Z earlier, they've got to come and just do what you want on your terms,
right.
or walk away.
I mean, it's really funny if you look back into Jay-Z's story. I mean, he was a rapper, and obviously we all know he was a drug dealer at the same time, so that's how he made his living. And if you go back to when he really first started, he went around to every single label he could possibly think about, and he tried their hand. But at the end of the day, what ended up happening was that nobody wanted to sign him, and so he had to... He just slang it out of the back of his trunk, and he had to force the label's hand, and then he ended up signing a $20 million deal with Russell Simmons, and look where he is now. You know?
No, it's incredible. I mean, he basically did it his way. They came out to Priority. They actually distributed Reasonable Doubt, his first album, and had an option to move on from there. And even at an early age, with not much popularity and not much going on in his career, they were making those moves which enabled that power move with Russell and Rockefeller and, you know, Def Jam and all that. Again, we're talking to Sydney Alston, Major Mija, about the exciting time of being an independent artist and this great opportunity here with IES coming up in August. We also want to introduce to the program one of our other great attendees at IES last year, who came all the way from New York and New Jersey, all the way from the East Coast. There's so much going on there, but he had a feeling that IES was a place that he could learn and connect, and we've been so excited to see his development of new relationships, the knowledge that he took from the conference, and he's back again coming up for this year. So also, welcome to our discussion on the road to Hollywood. This is J. Biz Russell from the East Coast.
One up. Thank you. Much love and pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you so much for coming down. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about, again, the experience you had at IES and what a really important opportunity is for artists on the rise, whether you're in front of the mic or behind the scenes, or, you know, however you're developing that career, to be at an event. It's in depth. It's 5 days. There's relationships being, you know, made. It's substantial.
I mean, a lot being said just within that question, actually. I think that just stands out to say that I think what you really feel that you want, it goes and shows where you will be in life in a way. You know, I'm not saying that I'm budget-wise and set to be exactly in Hollywood, but nobody exactly, I think, comes out here and exactly just feels that they're going to be there. It's just the sense and that urgency and that inspiration that pushes you to take that first step. And those first steps make a flight, you know? So you definitely got to just have that inspiration within you first off to go. But I will say first off that going to something like IES definitely, for instance, puts you where I am right now, which is making not only just a couple of connections that were built at one convention and IES that we went to, and now it's a radio show that you can go to, getting a lot of different tips as an independent artist if you weren't able to go there before. And if you were, you can continue to build these relationships with a lot of other people that are just as inspired as you, if not more, you know? And that's not a bad thing neither, because you can always take more encouragement to push yourself along this road, you know? I was real humbled to be able to meet Sydney over there, you know. I actually had a membership already to what Disc Makers was, so, you know, being able to put a face with it, I was like, wow, you know, there's a lot behind this independence, you know, and what you can do as within yourself and your own entity. So it's real awesome, you know. Got to see Major perform before even y'all got that chance to, you know, just hear that live, so that's really cool. Like, just seeing that bubble up and build into what it is. That's just awesome. So, you know, just showing you what that inspiration's about, what music's about, what love is about within it. You know, you got to keep that going and go out to those conventions and things like that. But IES, for the most part, especially, a whole week of all of that to go through and interaction, you really can't beat that connectivity, you know. So take it serious and take it there.
Definitely.
Well, thanks so much for your words of encouragement. J Biz is in a perfect example of someone that comes to the Indie Entertainment Summit, and rather than walk away and think the business is just going to come to you, he's been very professional about reaching out to a lot of the people that he met, and he's forming those relationships. He could be sitting right next to the same guy.
He told me he was
who
coming.
Sat there and waited for the phone to ring.
I'll see you there, homie.
And
Facebook.
And it's what you do with that knowledge. You know, it's connecting the dots. The dots are there, you know. These people are very approachable. The one thing, like Tech Nine said, is with the indies, we're not afraid to share the knowledge because it's within you of what you do with it.
Word.
The majors or some kind of corporation, you know, is so worried about there's trade secrets getting out and all that with the non-disclosures. But, you know, with the indies, it's amazing how people are so free and giving of their contacts, of their information, and that's a great community to be a part of.
It is.
So talk about
Definitely.
the importance of that face-to-face where you can really, you know, form that relationship.
You know, I take calls all day at disc makers, people who are looking to make CDs. But what I really like to do is I like to get out there and meet those people.
Word.
You know, I go to all the conferences, you know, ASCAP, BMI, Taxi, Narrative. IES is one of my all-time favorites. But I mean, like these conferences, and it's even more than that. It's like, you know, there are all kinds of organizations that you can be involved in, where people will share information. If it wasn't for the NARAP organization, I would have never met Major. You know, and through that conversation, we ended up doing some other events. You know, and that's how it gets going.
Jay, tell us a little bit more about, again, what you look forward to, taking that knowledge now that you've been to IES, and how you're going to implement more and even get more out of this year's.
Really just taking it one step at a time, but really just building structure with it, you know, taking the things serious that I soaked up within a couple of times there, a couple of days, appreciating what the relationships are, you know, and taking what you do serious, man, because at the end of the day, I know you go out there definitely for yourself, but you get there and you get involved and you see how much bigger it is than yourself regardless. You know, you're happy to be able to contribute no matter what it is, but, you know, everything that you put into it is so much bigger than yourself, and that's a big thing regardless. You know, that's an impact right there. So going out to IES, man, you just feel really good. You feel determined to do something with it, and more than anything, man, I'd say that you got to go with a good intention to take it somewhere. You know, I have a great time when it just comes to networking out there, understanding that everybody, no matter who it is, no matter how they're dressed, no matter what their belief or genre is, they could be something that you could really be connecting with and possibly be building something for how many years you don't know. You know, so really appreciate every person that you get involved with in there, and take your grind serious, man. It's really a good thing to go through, though.
That's so important. Again, you're on the East Coast. We had people come in from 20 different countries. It's not a local event. You know, this obviously can only happen in an entertainment capital like Los Angeles, where we pull in speakers that can barely afford an hour or two out of their office. These are some of the most busy people in the industry. This is not going to happen in Austin. It's not going to happen in Seattle, or, you know, even New York. As great as New York is and the people that are out there, a lot of the industry is based here, and the people that we bring out to teach and learn and connect are not going to sit there and take a couple 3 days off and fly the East Coast.
From so many parts of the world too, man. Like it's not even just out here in the USA, like from all over the world. You know, people come in from that, and that's really awesome.
Sure.
Definitely.
And Major, in wrapping up, tell us a little bit again why you would encourage even young artists that are just starting to develop, why it's important to go and network and really put yourself out there in front of people that you can learn from.
Well, I think it's so important networking these days because obviously we have technology, we have so much stuff, but me sitting here on a computer is not the same as me talking to you face to face. I mean, when I went to the IES conference the first time, I really didn't know what it was. I got there and everybody welcomed me in open arms, and you know, I got to have fun and experience something I never did. And I think that everybody who is looking to do the same thing as I am, or even something different, can benefit from all of each other, because at the end of the day, the whole indie thing is really about networking and getting yourself out there. Definitely. And I think that's what IES does, and it does a really good job of it, man. Really.
And where can we find you on the web? For those that can't get enough of your music, where can we go?
I mean, obviously I have Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff, but if you really want to see me, man, come to my website at majormyjah.com, MAJORMYJAH.com.
And J-Biz, where can we find you online?
Yeah, y'all can go right to www.jbizrussell.com. Just lock in with me, man. All about inspiration. Let's go.
Well, thank you so much. We're going to see all of you at IES. That's August 7th through the 11th. IESfest.com for all the information. Thanks so much, Sydney. Thanks, Major. Appreciate it, Jay. We're going to leave you with some more of the recorded work of Major Myjah. World premiere right here on the road to Hollywood. See you next time.